Azure Gleam. Conspiracy in the air. Having laid Lonato low, the kingdom's army proceeds south. Count Rowe, who had prior declared fealty to the Empire, surrenders, and Aryan Road falls back into kingdom hands. With its foothold in the west lost, the Empire amasses troops in the former Arundel territory to the south, prompting the army of Fargus to strike before Adrestia can regain its footing.
It's nice Aryan Road fell with little more than a hand wave, but it's hardly comfortable knowing the enemy is still on our doorstep.
Comfortable or no, we must take what few chances we do have to rest. Battle will be upon us again before we know it.
Not to mention the fortress is still a target. I mean, who wouldn't want their very own impregnable stronghold?
Our spies report that the enemy plans to mount such an attack from Arundel land.
Arundel, huh? It's been 2 years since the territory came under the Emperor's control. The wind carries rumors that Edelgard has been keeping Lord Arundel imprisoned in his home since then. If it's true, No. Were the enemy to strike and the fortress city to somehow fall, our path forward in this war would grow exceedingly perilous.
The West doesn't face the kind of constant threats we do, so there aren't as many strongholds here as in the North, right?
Basically. Though my uncle did say that started to change at least a tiny bit in the past couple of years.
In other words, the entire western region of the kingdom is likely to fall into enemy hands if we retreat from Aryan Road now.
Indeed. Which is exactly why we must take the offensive and restrain this Imperial snake before it can sink its fangs into us.
Hey, it'll be nice to strike first for once. It feels like we've been on the back foot for a while now.
Right you are. And remaining on perpetual defense would only lead to more meaningless, preventable deaths.
Offense is the best defense, I always say. We'll crush anyone who has the gall to stand against us.
There you go, getting carried away again. Look at them, all stunned into speechlessness.
Your Majesty, I bear terrible news.
Calm yourself. What is it?
The convoy escorting Count Rowe to the capital has been attacked by an unknown assailant. They've sustained heavy losses, and it seems Count Rowe has gone missing amid the chaos.
I see. And these assailants, we know nothing about them?
Very little, Your Majesty. The survivors claim to have been attacked by numerous mages.
Mages? No.
What's wrong? Do you know who it is?
You saw the court mage Cornelia during our battle at Ferdiad, yes? Well, she disappeared almost immediately after. It's likely she has been burrowed away in western Fargus ever since. Which leads me to wonder if this attack wasn't her handiwork somehow. It's merely a feeling, though. I'd like to look into it further, if possible. But something tells me the Imperial soldiers won't wait around patiently while we go off hunting for clues.
Perhaps you should send a separate unit to investigate, while we attend to the Empire.
Yes, that would be prudent for now. We cannot afford to lower our guard for even a moment.
Hey there.
this is true. Well,
Good day. In fact... Why, hello. The story goes... Good day. Let me think. Oh.
You're a lifesaver, Mercedes. Could you help me tend to this soldier's wounds next?
Lady Mercedes, where would you like me to put this?
Oh, yes, just a moment, please.
You really have your hands full, Mercedes. Anything I can pitch in on?
Oh, goodness. I appreciate your offer, but I couldn't possibly ask you to take time out of your day to assist me in these tasks.
Hey, don't be like that. Anyone who's still got the legs to stand on after a battle needs to do whatever they can to help. I'm no physician, but I can at least help get some of this stuff organized.
But you only just returned from combat yourself. Aren't you exhausted?
Hey, I could turn that question right back on you. You were there fighting with us that whole time.
I suppose that's true. But are you sure you don't mind lending a hand?
Sure as anything. Just tell me what to do and I'll be on it before you can even blink.
In that case, there's a box over at the training grounds. Would you mind getting it? There should be bandages and medicine inside, so you'll be able to tell which one it is just by opening the lid.
Got it. Be right back.
Oh my, wait just a minute.
What's up?
Give me your right hand.
Okay.
I knew it. You're injured. Here, I can patch this up in a jiffy with my healing magic.
Whoa, it's all better. Thanks, Mercedes.
You need to speak up from now on if you're hurt, all right? Don't be so nonchalant about your health.
Hey, I could say the same thing about... Actually, never mind. Anyway, it should be easier to carry that box now. Thanks again, Mercedes.
No, thank you for offering to help. Oh, and take all the time you need. There's no rush.
Well met. That reminds me. Not so. Very well then. Well, if it isn't our mercenary friend, I trust you've adjusted to life in the kingdom by now.
Yeah, more or less. I've been here a few times before on the job, so it's not too big a shock. But I've never lived as far north as Ferdiad. There's still a bunch I need to get used to. Stuff like the wind blowing straight through you, or how it's always so stupidly cold, even inside, or how you can't go out after a blizzard. It snowed so much one night that I couldn't even open the door in the morning. Thought I was off to meet the goddess that day.
An amusing enough story when you tell it like that. But Fargus winters are no joke. They're harsh, unforgiving beasts. Tell me, have you grown to despise the cold?
Nah, it's not so bad. I mean, sure, all the snow is really annoying. But it's also beautiful. You can't see lamplit streets covered in the stuff anywhere but here.
I thought the same when I was young. Though the more years I gain, the more frustrating it becomes. Nevertheless, this brutal tundra is the only home we have. Meaning there's nothing to do but adapt, persevere, and enjoy the lives we've built here.
Adapt? Like how the messengers ride Pegasi instead of horses during the winter.
Exactly. The sight of those majestic creatures soaring through the frost-ridden sky is one unique to Fargus. No matter how much snow blankets the ground, our Pegasi quite literally rise to the occasion. When my son and his majesty were still just boys, they followed one off into the frigid mountains of all places. By the time I found them, they were but two shivering masses on the ground. For a moment, I thought my heart would never beat again.
So, Felix has been getting into trouble ever since he was a kid, huh?
His penchant for danger is unchanged, yes. Though I fear his disposition has grown far sharper. The hardships of becoming Duke at his age are undoubtedly weighing upon his mind.
I don't know. I don't think you need to worry about him. He can take care of himself just fine.
A fair point. Perhaps it's time I let him spread his wings like the Pegasus he chased all those years ago. It seems the coming winter will bring more than just cold to Fargus. The ravages of war approach on the same wind. Training in such conditions will be a struggle indeed, but we cannot afford to ignore the looming Srang threat either. Managing our territories through it all will not be an easy task. But I have faith we will adapt, persevere, and overcome, just as we always have.
Next winter, huh? We'll just have to do whatever it takes to make sure the war's over by then.
Good seeing you. Not good. So basically... Hey, just the guy I wanted to see. I've got a bit of a favor to ask. You know that special sword you fight with? Well, I was wondering if you'd let me take a peek at it.
Sure, if you want. Can't say I expected this kind of interest coming from you, though. It'd be one thing if it were Dimitri or Felix asking. You know how they get about weapons. But you?
You do remember I'm the heir to House Gautier, don't you? I've been studying the art of combat ever since I was just a kid.
Well, you always skip out on training, so... Anyway, here. This work?
It sure does. What a weird sword. You know what it's made of? It doesn't look like iron or steel to me.
I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I have no idea.
What about how you can make it appear right out of thin air? Is that some sort of magic?
Nah, not exactly. It kinda just comes to me when I call it.
Well, that's vague. One more question then. Would I be able to use your sword if I wanted to?
Doubt it. The thing vanishes the second I let go of it. But, hey, why do you want to know so much about it anyway?
I guess I was just thinking how nice it'd be if there were more weapons like yours out in the world. You know, a hero's relic can take down hundreds or even thousands of soldiers in a single swing. Depending on who's doing the swinging, of course. But as soon as the wielder dies, that's it. If you don't have a crest, it's nothing more than a fancy-looking hunk of whatever they're made of. Of course, that wouldn't be an issue if everyone could just use a sword like yours.
Maybe so, but that doesn't make it possible. I mean, there's still so much even I don't know about it.
Right. It's not like you can just make a second one or something.
That's actually a pretty interesting idea. You've given this a lot of thought, haven't you?
Hey, you're talking to the future Margrave Gautier here, remember? Of course I'd think about this kind of stuff. After all, us nobles wouldn't have nearly as much work to do if everyone could fight with the relics. And then I could spend all my time goofing off, just like I did back at the academy.
Yeah, in your dreams. Don't make me tell Ingrid about this.
Whoa now, you don't need to do that. Have a heart. Come on, let's see that sword of yours a little more.
Oh. How's it going? On that note, yep.
What?
Oh, it's you. Yeah.
Huh?
Honestly, I don't know.
Let's see.
Oh, thanks. I get things done.
Do you need something? Well...
Meh.
Right.
Hey, Dedu, what are you doing here? You need something?
No, but I must ask, what are you doing here?
Just, making sure all the equipment's in good shape. With how rough yesterday's battle was, I figured it couldn't hurt to round up all the weapons that got broken and try my hand at fixing them.
I see.
Sorry, should I not have taken them out at night or something? You're giving me this look like you don't trust me.
You have His Majesty's trust. I will not lay a hand on you. But I would like to better understand who you are.
Makes sense to me. I'm still just a newcomer and my background's unclear at best.
My apologies.
Nah, it's fine. I'd be suspicious of me too if I were you. Besides, I don't exactly want to go losing my employer either, so feel free to keep as many eyes out as you think necessary. Dimitri clearly needs all the help he can get. I mean, he made me a commanding officer without so much as a second thought to my past or my intentions.
Yet that conviction makes people follow him. And I agree with his decision. Having you close by is convenient.
What, so you can keep a better eye on me? It doesn't really matter. As long as he's paying me, I'll do whatever I've got to do to win for him. Oh, and if I do anything suspicious, you're more than welcome to cut me down right then and there.
A very mercenary response.
Well, yeah, that's what I am. I might have risen the ranks, and I might have my own unit now, but I'm still a merc at heart. As long as I get the results, everything else, like trust and respect, will follow. At least, that's what my old Captain Burling taught me. So, I guess I don't have much choice but to just keep at it till I earn your trust.
I see. Now, these weapon repairs will take time. Allow me to aid you.
You sure you don't mean keep an eye on me? Glad to have your help, though, Dedu.
Let's give it a go.
I wish to speak with you.
By the by.
Troubling indeed. I wonder. No.
Hey,
What kind of greeting is that? I gave you my title, not free license for insolence.
spare me the lecture. I have a question about the lords of Southern Fraldaria's territory.
So you're having trouble with them as well, are you? Let me guess. They're withholding provisions. Or perhaps they refuse to send troops they promised.
How did you know?
Because I've been through the same thing with them any number of times.
Southern soldiers are unskilled, but they make up for it with sheer numbers. I need their cooperation, yet they refuse to negotiate. And I have no idea how to convince them.
Yes. I imagine they're dealing with their own issues.
And what issues would those be?
When they refused to send reinforcements for the invasion of Sreng, it was because the lords were embroiled in a succession dispute. If one house sent soldiers, the others would pounce on the opportunity to move against them. But mere letters could never have told you something like that.
So you went around to each territory personally?
Yes. Though considering we're presently on war footing, doing so now would be unwise.
Well, that's hardly helpful, but I'll take it into consideration and see what I can do. Something funny?
Just thinking that you've grown into a fine duke.
Were you expecting me to fail? You're the one who gave me the title, after all.
True. But I inherited the role when I was much older than you. You're doing extremely well for your age. It seems I raised two very capable sons.
Don't tell me you're glorifying Glenn's death again.
Felix.
I've been walking in your footsteps, serving our king and leading an army of knights. After all that, I thought maybe I'd come to understand you a bit better. But I still can't stomach what you said that day.
Looks like I overstepped yet again. Perhaps the two of us will never see eye to eye. If Glenn were alive, I half suspect he'd say I was being childish.
Oh, it's so late. I didn't mean to take this much of a detour.
Just getting back?
Hey, Dudu. Hope I didn't worry you.
You didn't. You were in town, yes?
I went to pick up some supplies, but on the way back I saw these flowers blooming, and I just couldn't help but pick some.
Ah, yarrows.
They're used as an ingredient in healing salves, although you can also slap the leaves on your wounds and get mostly the same effect. Oh, and I plan on soaking them in alcohol. It'll produce a liquid that can be used for a wonderful ointment. Though I suppose it would be faster to just use healing magic.
You seem well informed on the subject.
Lenato knew all about it. So I picked up a few things from him.
Lord Lenato had an interest in plants?
Oh sure, he kept tons of botanical encyclopedias and books like that in his room. He loved flowers. He even kept a small herb garden at Castle Gaspar. Hey, you like gardening too, right? I mean, you were always watering the flowers in the greenhouse back at Garreg Mach.
I suppose I do, though I know little of the medicinal properties.
Yeah, I guess knowing how to grow plants is different from knowing how to use them.
Even so, the greenhouse was a treasure to me.
You're right about that. I found flowers there I'd never even seen in Castle Gaspar's garden.
I would like very much to visit this garden of yours one day.
We should go! Of course, a lot has happened since I last saw it, but my younger siblings should still be looking after it.
I look forward to it. Though, how did Lord Lenato come to know so much about medicinal herbs?
He used to serve Grand Duke Rufus, so... maybe he studied them while he was in the capital.
Perhaps.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here chatting away when I should be off making myself useful.
Of course. Medicinal herbs.
I have exhausted most of the Pegasus Corps, so how should I advance the mounted units on the ground?
A tricky proposition indeed. The enemy general won't be foolish enough to miss a chance to seize the advantage here.
If we are going to face the enemy with our remaining troops, it would be best to have the mounted units take up formation in the narrow pass to the east. Then, the remaining Pegasus Knights can attack from the cliffs above and end this quickly. Still, my scouts claim there may be archers stationed on those cliff tops.
Naturally. Everyone knows to expect Pegasus Knights as soon as they see the standard of Galatea. The enemy will doubtless be ready for this.
Yes, it is quite the predicament. I cannot help but wonder what my father or brothers would do. As someone who commands an army of Galatea, withdrawal is not an option.
I don't think you need to rack your brain over this too hard, Ingrid.
But if we fight without any sort of strategy, we will suffer major casualties.
Which might prove to be in your favor. If the enemy sees your back to the wall, they may let their guard down and grow reckless. How many Pegasus Knights stand ready?
Nearly half. Perhaps more if their wounds can heal in time.
Then select the most skilled from among them and make for the cliff tops.
And fly into the jaws of their trap?
While using the speed of the Pegasi to minimize injury, make it look like you're taking a desperate retreat. Then withdraw your troops. If the enemy thinks they've subdued the famed Pegasus Knights of Galatea, they'll deploy troops from their main fortress, leaving it lightly guarded. Once they do, send a separate unit of your remaining Pegasus Knights to capture it.
Yes, that just might work. You are amazing, Lord Rodrigue. I suppose this comes from your wide range of experience.
Actually, it's a strategy suggested by your brother once upon a time.
My brother? Oh, that's right. I believe he served in Srang while he was still a squire.
Despite his low rank, he astonished us all with his clever suggestions for deploying our flying units.
I have a long way to go if I wish to live up to him. I must prove more diligent about studying strategy.
Very ambitious. My son could stand to learn a thing or two from your example. But you ought not overextend yourself. Make certain to rest those wings every once in a while. I wouldn't be able to face the Count or your brothers if I allowed you to work yourself to exhaustion.
Resting my wings is a rather difficult proposition. I can't very well run about playing games as I did when I was a child. In any case, I thank you very much for the advice. I think I know how to proceed now.
The pleasure is mine, Ingrid. This is a most dangerous strategy, so let's endeavor to make sure we both come out of this alive.
Huh. So House Yvonne is actually just a branch of House Blathid?
Yes, though really if you trace any noble bloodline back far enough, you will find most of them are related in one way or another. For example, Duke Yvonne possesses the crest of Karen, while her grandfather possessed the minor crest of Fraldarius. Yet another of her ancestors bore the crest of Blathid, which is passed down through the royal bloodline.
So, you just gotta have a crest to inherit the family title, huh? Doesn't matter which one it is?
In general, yes. The nobility used to be more particular about their requirements, but that is in the past now. Since the houses all keep intermingling, none of them really have a pure bloodline anymore. Meaning they don't get to be picky about which crests they get. Though in truth, the main reason why crests are so valued is because they allow their bearers to wield the hero's relics, passed down through generations. In other words, one who possesses a crest compatible with the family's relic is much more likely to inherit the family title.
Huh. Speaking of, you're the heir to House Galatea, but your crest comes from another family, right?
Yes, but my house is a little different from the others. We originally split off from House Daphne in Leicester, you see. And at times in our history, crest bearers have been passed over entirely for the inheritance.
Can't you just pick a rule and stick to it? Why do you nobles always have to make stuff so complicated?
Complicated or not, this is important knowledge if you are going to keep serving His Majesty. If you stay ignorant, the soldiers you command will lose respect for you, and His Majesty's reputation will be irreparably damaged.
Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't be complaining after I asked you to teach me. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, right. You're the legitimate heir, and you have a crest, which means you're gonna inherit the family title someday. But what about all that talk of becoming a knight? Can you even do that if you're leading your house?
No. I have dreamt of obtaining knighthood and defending the king ever since I was a little girl. But I'm afraid it's not meant to be.
And none of your siblings have crests, do they? Isn't there anyone who can take the title for you?
My eldest brother says he is willing to do so if necessary. After all, the decision comes down to what the family and the heir want. Usually, leadership passes to a child with a crest. There have been exceptions, as I mentioned before. Even so, it is the duty of every kingdom noble to take up their relic in defense of their people. Not to mention, my father is not the only one who wants to see me in charge of the house. The citizens of Galatea are hoping for the same.
Huh. I'm not sure I really get all the politics behind it, since I wasn't born in the kingdom. But wouldn't you still be able to protect the king, even if you ended up a count?
I am not sure I follow.
Sorry, I can explain some other time. There's a story about a mercenary I'd love to tell you. Hey there, Petra. Off the train? I'll join you.
That would give me much joy. An opponent with toughness will keep me upon my toes.
You mean me? Nah, you're way tougher than I am. Also, aren't you a queen now? I didn't realize dawn to dusk training was part of the Brigid Royal Regiment.
I have not become queen yet, but there is an understanding that it will happen. And yes, in Brigid, royalty must have knowledge of fighting. I mean, we must know how to fight. To be leading our people, a ruler must have more strength than any other. They must be the hardest to kill. My people are expecting this of me.
So, it's the toughest person calling the shots, huh? I love it. What could possibly go wrong?
This is how it is meant to be working. But such things do not always go with smoothness. Mercenaries are always seeking strength too, correct?
That's true. A merc lives and dies by the sword. If you're not better than the next opponent you face, they'll be the last one you face.
Yes, dying is without productivity. But it gives me surprise that you do not avoid jobs of danger. A queen must be facing any wolf who comes to her door. But you can have pickiness when selecting fights.
Depends on how much food you can put on the table that week. Most of us mercs barely scrape by hand to mouth. End of the day, it's just business. Some mercs will take the coin and blow town, and some employers are more than happy to hang us all out to dry. I guess you don't have a lot of sellswords in Brigid, huh?
Correct. We do not require the selling of swords. In Brigid, everyone is a hunter. Everyone is a fisher. Everyone is a warrior. There is no need to be hiring, or to be hired.
That sounds incredible. In a place like that, nobody'd have to risk their life just to get a bite to eat.
Your words give me great happiness. I will always be full of pride for Brigid.
Ah, Mercedes. Did you go out?
Yes, I went to the town of Camulus to help the church.
I see. And how did you find it?
The townspeople seemed fine enough, but the clergy were very busy. As you know, lots of people fled to Fargus when the war started. And while a number of towns took in refugees, Camulus is particularly busy on that front.
In that case, I should send reinforcements and resources from the capital. I will speak with Lady Rhea about this presently.
Thank you, Dimitri. I'm sure the clergy will be pleased to hear it. I'm incredibly grateful to you for coming to the church's aid, you know. Most of those people would have ended up homeless if not for your actions.
As I recall, you fled from the Empire yourself at a rather young age.
Yes, and it was awful. We had nothing to eat and nowhere to shelter from the wind and rain. If not for the priest who helped us, I don't know what would have happened. Are you all right, Dimitri? You seem sad.
My apologies, Mercedes. But may I speak plainly?
You don't need my permission to do that, silly. What's troubling you?
I have been wondering for some time if accepting the Central Church was the correct decision. By giving them shelter, I have also given the Empire the perfect excuse for invasion.
You took them in because you thought it was the right thing to do. Isn't that so?
Yes. The Church of Seros is deeply entwined with the kingdom's history and politics. The Crown's authority is granted by the Church, which also takes part in governing our villages. Were I to sunder that connection, nobles and commoners alike would be furious. The kingdom would be split anew, and chaos would reign.
That is a tough one. It seems like you're going to end up with a fight no matter what you do. Well, at the very least, I know the townspeople are grateful. But I also know it's not as simple as all that. I'm sorry. That probably didn't do much to help ease your concerns.
No. I should apologize for making you listen as I prattle on endlessly.
Oh, nonsense. If it helped you in any way, I'm glad to do it.
Well, I certainly do feel better. Thank you, Mercedes. And please know that I am here for you for whatever reason, no matter how small.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
The fight starts now.
Hold strong. I'm here to defend you.
Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Let's begin. Come with me. Let's begin. It's time to...
I'll do what I can. It's worth a shot.
Leave this one to me. That's my cue.
It's not over.
Knowing when to retreat is a vital strategy.
It's not over.
Here it comes! Take this! You're done!
Tastes more bitter than blackest coffee.
Too easy.
There's that mercenary flair.
Retreat!
See? I'm not so bad.
Sorry, but I gotta fall back. I got this.
Well, what's next?
Too slow. Not yet.
Time to get going.
I'm going.
It's no use. We can't gain any ground.
How can I face my comrades after this?
Take a breather.
I hope it was enough.
We're here to help.
No need to fret.
My chances are slim.
Fight like this. I'm bleeding all over the place.
My accomplishments won't mean a thing if I'm not still standing when the battle's over.
You make a fine warrior.
Here it comes! You're done!
Here goes.
We did it!
It's not over.
I'm sorry. We weren't strong enough.
My chances are slim.
I can't believe we fended them off.
Yeah.